Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
From silence to stewardship, reflections on the Ocoee Massacre and the road ahead. I am Sha'ron McWhite, the great niece of our beloved Julius July Perry. A legacy rooted in truth. 100 plus years ago, in the small town of Ocoee, Florida, my great uncle, Julius July Perry, was lynched for daring to help his neighbors exercise their constitutional right to vote. The terror that swept through our community destroyed Black lives, families, homes, and businesses. For decades afterwards, fear and silence filled the space where justice should have lived. My family, our descendants, our families, your families, and those of you today who do not know, these are my family. We have carried the silence in our bones, but also we have carried the truth. Each generation was entrusted to guard it until now the world was ready to listen. That time, at long last has come. What has changed? Today, Ocoee has begun to confront its own shadow. The city has issued official apologies, erected memorials, and joined descendants like us in public remembrance. Florida law now requires that the Ocoee Massacre be taught in schools, ensuring that our students, our children, will know the names of those who paid the ultimate price for democracy. Museums like this have created a powerful exhibit, and on behalf of the descendants, we say thank you. Have created powerful exhibits that give faces and voices to those erased from history. These steps matter, and yes, they do. They tell families like mine that the lives stolen were not in vain, and that the truth can, in time, overcome denial. They affirm that Black citizens helped build this state and this nation, and that we, yes we, I said we, people that look like you and me, we belong in full history, and yes we do. We belong fully in the stories to be told. But what has not changed enough? But remembrance alone cannot repair the damage. No compensation has ever been offered for the land, the businesses, and the future that has been taken. And let me remind you, let me repeat that. Let me let that just sink in just for a moment, because some of you here today need to understand that I am speaking today only about action. The word ACTION. We're bringing about a lot of changes in Ocoee, but we're talking about the changes that our ancestors have paid the ultimate price. And there's nothing that we as a family can say or see that has been done. Education mandates are even Too many Americans remain uneasy with the full weight of our racial history, preferring amnesia versus accountability. You know, we're quick to say we have amnesia when we don't want to pay a price. As long as those patterns continue to persist, the workable code remains unfinished. A century later, the same forces that targeted my great uncle, the late Julius July Perry, voter suppression, fear of shared power, and racial resentment still test our democracy today. Where are we headed? I thought you would never ask. But since you did, let me tell you. I see competing currency in America, current events. One pulls toward remembrance, repair, and honest education, but the other toward revision and retreat. The struggle between them will decide the character of our next generation and the generations to come. If we are wise, we would choose the path of restorative truth, using acknowledgement not only as the end point, but as a beginning. We will protect every citizen's right to vote without intimidation. We will teach the whole story, not half of the story, not 1/4 of the story, not just only the stories that you heard, but we're going to teach the whole story of America. Not just the comfortable parts, because the uncomfortable parts are the parts that really matters the most. But those are the parts that no one wants to hear. We will ensure that the descendants of those that was once disposed can thrive where their ancestors were driven out. This is how we transform apology into action and tragedy into testimony. Last, the call forward. The lesson of Okoye is not confined to the history books. It asks each of us a living question. Will we be guardians of truth or bystanders to its erosion? My great uncle, the late, the beloved, the father, the husband, and all of the above, died believing that his citizenship meant something. Each time we vote, teach, or speak up for justice, we honor that belief. Each time we shrink from hard conversations or tolerate injustice, we betray it. Now, the past has warned us. The present is testing us. The future still calls upon us to courage, to fairness, and to faith that the light we kindle will outlast the darkness we have inherited. Let all of us continue to walk by faith and not by sight. I am Sha'ron McWhite. I am a descendant of the beloved Julius July Perry. Thank you.